This month on the 11th, a writer named Sarah shares the story of a false accusation of sexual misconduct. And then her inbox is flooded with hundreds of other people saying they too have been falsely accused. A professor, a federal government whistleblower, a candidate for sheriff. What responsibility does she have to these other stories, these other people? Was it her role to decide who's telling the truth? That's this month on the 11th, a new podcast from Pineapple Street Studios.
CuriosityStream has thousands of documentary films and shows available on demand on any device. We're the Netflix for nerds, the Hulu for history buffs, the Disney Plus for the scientist in us. There sure are a lot of streaming services, aren't there? CuriosityStream is the one you definitely need if you're the type to nature dock and chill, if you're an armchair astronaut, if you prefer physics to psychics, or perhaps you know a precocious paleontologist. Go to curiositystream.com to learn more and sign up today.
It's that time, San Diego.
Oh, what time is it? Time to kick it!
Time for Gwen and Chris to help you close out your day.
Guess I've been working so hard, I forgot what it's like to be hardly working.
Time for you to forget about who stole your lunch at work.
This is it! This is it! Right here, right now!
Time for you to lock in on sports. Featuring Tony Gwynn Jr.
Of course, it all culminates tonight with San Diego State going up against Syracuse.
Or does it culminate?
Ooh, that wasn't nice.
You know what's gravy?
That was not nice.
I think it culminates.
Knock it off.
And Chris Ello.
Are we talking rushing touchdowns or
Touchdowns.
Like passing touchdowns?
Scoring the touchdown.
Fumble recovery touchdowns?
Don't be an idiot.
I'm just trying to get Chris mad. Don't be an idiot.
Don't be an idiot.
Gwen and Chris are on the air on 97.3 The Fan.
5:01 on the clock. Tony Gwynn Jr., Chris Ello, Matt Scravy, all here with you for another 30 minutes before we turn it over to the Padres pregame show. Of course, I am off doing the game for the Padres, so you won't hear my voice on there today. I believe Jesse Agler and Bob Scanlon will be the duo tonight. However, we do have a guest for you right now. Joining us on the Premier Chevrolet of Carlsbad hotline.
What are you looking at me for?
Because just some more noises going on. Is Odyssey MLB insider John Heyman. Insider calls are presented by BetQL. Get access to data and insights the sports books don't want you to see. Bet smarter, beat the books. Download the BetQL app or visit BetQL.com today. John, how is your day going today?
Good. How are you guys doing?
We are well. You've tweeted a little bit today, and one of the things that I'm sure most San Diegans were happy to see, you feel like if Fernando comes back and he's healthy, that the MVP is his to lose. I personally agree with you. I think that's the way this thing is set up, especially with DeGrom missing so much time at this point.
Yeah, I mean, it was DeGrom, Acuna, and Tatis. Those were the three best players early on. Those were the three MVP favorites. DeGrom has missed too much time. You know, you can't be a pitcher and throw, 100 innings and be the MVP. That's not going to happen. And Acuna's out for the year. So, I mean, Tatis has been fantastic. And if he just gets on the field, plays decent, he's the shoe-in MVP at this point, I believe.
John, what do you think about him potentially coming back in the outfield? I think that's kind of something that's happened since the last time we talked with you. We were all very surprised when it first happened. Now it's starting to set in a little bit that it could actually be a reality.
Yeah, well, they have other shortstop options, Cronenworth, Kim, and, they want to keep him healthy. Obviously, he's had some defensive issues at short this year as well, but I think, whatever they can do to keep him healthy. Shortstop, it's a big grind. There's a lot of action and more potential to be hurt. So it makes sense to me. It appears it's headed that way.
One of the things you've also recently kind of dropped out there was that the Dodgers, who acquired both Scherzer and Turner, will have some competition when it comes to maybe re-signing Scherzer. The Angels seem to be a team that might be a little bit of some competition for the Dodgers when it comes to Scherzer's services.
Yeah, we've been saying this for 10 years. The Angels need pitching. I mean, there's no question about that. They need pitching, and they like Scherzer. They looked for him as a trade rental, even though they really weren't in the race. So that tells you how much they like him. They did try for Cole, were outbid by the Yankees. And, to me, I think that's a likelihood. Now, if the Dodgers are in play, which I expect them to be, of course, the Dodgers are the favorite. They got more money than the Yankees. It seems like they got more money than anybody. So, tough to beat the Dodgers, but I think they've got competition down I-5, 45 miles down. And it does seem that, one thing we picked up from the trade deadline is that Scherzer likes the idea of being in Southern California. It appeared that he was only going to be okaying a deal to California, and seemed like he favored the Dodgers, Angels, and Padres. You never know. We'd heard he'd approve the Giants and the Red Sox. I'm not sure, but he clearly liked the idea of playing in Southern California, and he did approve that trade to the Dodgers. So I think he's going to stay in Southern California one way or another.
Odyssey MLB insider John Heyman joining us here on 97.3 The Fan. John, when you talk about the Padres and their starting rotation, it's amazing how they've gone from having so much at the beginning of the season, potentially, to having so little now. I mean, they have Darvish, they have Musgrove, they have Snell, and then they now have question marks. Ryan Weathers has not pitched well. Their fifth spot's kind of open with Chris Paddock's injury. Would you even remotely think about kicking the tires on Jake Arrieta, who the Cubs released today? Neither Tony or I think so, but what do you think?
Yeah, I think that's a long shot based on how he's pitched this year. I saw a stat where his ERA has jumped the last 6 years in a row, and from 1-something to now around 6. So, I think that's a long shot at this point. I think they're going to get in. Even with depleted pitching, I think they'll make it to the finish line. And the fact they have 3 good starters makes them a threat once they get there. So I still think they're in good shape, but you never have too much pitching. We've said that a million times. Good thing they made those 3 trades for those 3 pitchers because, like a lot of teams, they've had a lot of attrition when it comes to that rotation.
John, do you think Tony La Russa will be looked at for manager of the year with the job he's done with the White Sox? Because it seems like the narrative is that people don't necessarily want to get on board with Tony being there, but he certainly hasn't hurt the White Sox chances this year.
No, he hasn't. Yeah, I'm with you. I wasn't in favor when it happened. Several managers are having great years in the American League. Kevin Cash, again with the Rays, Cora with the Red Sox. Let's face it, we did not expect the Red Sox to be there. Dusty Baker, who we both love. You predicted them. I didn't, and they're right there. Bob Melvin doing a nice job. I mean, to me, at this point, I don't know what vote I have, if I have any vote. I might even consider a guy with a losing record, and that's A.J. Hinch. I mean, what did we think the Tigers were going to be this year? They're now coming up on 500.
Yeah.
I mean, I never would have thought that. I thought they were in that ballpark with Baltimore and, maybe Kansas City, Colorado, down at the bottom. But, they have been a real thorn in the side of some teams lately, and they're getting close to 500 with a team you never expected to be there.
John Heyman is with us. John, speaking of the Tigers, real quick, wanted to ask you about Miguel Cabrera. I mean, he was not in the lineup today, resting, but hit his 499th career home run yesterday. He's got 2,950 hits, so closing in on 3,000. He's got a career batting average of .311. I mean, that's impressive. I don't know that we've appreciated how good this guy is. I mean, 2 MVPs, Triple Crown, All-Star teams pretty much the first 10, 12 years of his career. Maybe it's Detroit. Maybe it's the fact that the team hasn't been very good for a while, but I would like to see a little bit more of Miguel Cabrera, on a national stage, or at least celebrated for what he's accomplished.
Yeah, it's kind of going under the radar. You're absolutely right. A fantastic career. I'm not surprised they rested him today in an away game. They're going home tomorrow, and they're hoping he hits that 500th at home. And, that's not an easy ballpark to hit home runs in. 500 is pretty darn good. I mean, there have been a lot more recently than there were earlier in baseball history, but it's quite an accomplishment. He's going to get the 3,000 hits as well, and I wouldn't say he's underpaid, but he's certainly underappreciated. He's one of those all-time great right-handed hitters, along with Pujols and Manny Ramirez, and he is absolutely a fantastic hitter and great for a team, really good guy as well.
John, last one for me. I hate to be the guy that brings this up, but we are at the end of this season looking at a new collective bargaining agreement. We've seen Rob Manfred kind of making his rounds here recently. He was recently here in San Diego. They've talked about when that conversation happens, expanding the playoffs to 14 teams. Now, do you expect that there's any movement anywhere between the two sides before there is a lockout before next season?
Man, I got to say I'm not that optimistic. I mean, these two sides both felt there should be universal DH, and yet they couldn't even agree on that. So that's a very bad sign. I mean, they have a new guy in there, relatively new guy in there in the union, and seems like the only word he knows is no to this point. So, it's not going to be easy. It took quite a while for them to get on the field last year with the pandemic and all that was going on around that. And it would be very, very bad for Major League Baseball to miss games. I wouldn't be shocked if there was no deal for a while. The deal runs out at the end of the year, so you can have no deal for a little while, but obviously you got to get going to spring training. And, this could take months. Unfortunately, the two sides are really not friendly, and that's a bad sign.
Well, John, as always, appreciate you coming on and spending some time with us. We certainly hoping that they can get together at some point. But like you said,
absolutely,
I'm not holding my breath counting on it. John, we appreciate you, man.
Neither.
We'll catch up with you later.
All right, Tony. Good
Thanks,
talking
John.
to you guys. Bye-bye.
That was the Odyssey MLB insider John Heyman. Insider Calls are presented by BetQL. BetQL is here to help us all make better bets through real, proven analytics. Bet smarter, beat the books. Download BetQL app or visit BetQL.com today in the Premier Chevrolet of Carlsbad fan hotline. Save money the right way with Premier Chevrolet of Carlsbad. Visit them today at the Carlsbad Auto Mall. Chevrolet, find new roads. Woo!
Oh, boy, I bet you John's happy that's over so he can get back to watching this Field of Dreams game. And can't miss any more of this.
No, it's a doozy.
They keep showing Kevin Costner sitting in his seat, too. I mean, it's like a nervous twitch that Fox Television can't get away from.
It's like we get it. He was in Field of Dreams.
We got it, yes.
God.
And he walked out before the game, and he spoke to the crowd, and he wandered around center field blindly for about 10 minutes and acted up a storm, and then the players came through the corn and walked out onto the field, and people have been going overly gaga for all of that.
According to Scraby. According to Scraby's Twitter.
Yeah, Scraby's Twitter people are
Go look
going
at Twitter.
crazy,
Twitter is we are
it.
in the minority of how we feel about this. What are they going to do with this field after this game?
I hope some high school team gets to play on it.
I'm sure that they will play games on it.
I promise you it won't look like this.
No, the stands are going to
be quite as smoothly
it
manicured.
won't be as manicured as it is right now. I promise you.
Well, if you need to know, Jose Abreu hit the home run into the corn, and the White Sox are leading the Yankees 1-0.
That would be my home run call. If I got to be a play-by-play guy, it doesn't matter where we are. Into the corn!
Yes, well, you'll never be a play-by-play guy for that exact reason.
You know what, Chris? I'm going to become a play-by-play guy just to prove you wrong.
Okay, let me know. Let me know when it happens.
I'm going to be like, it's high, it's deep, it's into the corn. They're like, oh, yeah, actually, we fired you just now.
It's into the corn.
I like
Don't see it happening, Scravy. Don't see it happening.
I like it.
All right.
It's into the corn.
Into the corn!
I'm so glad that this Field of Dreams game is over today because I we've spent not our fault, but just too much time on this.
You do
today.
realize that into the corn is only relevant when there is actually corn.
Everybody will get it.
Oh, that's what you're just
yeah. Apparently, Field of Dreams is the most popular movie ever made.
Yeah, apparently so according to Twitter.
Into the corn.
All right, let's get away. Step away. Take a break. When we come back, we'll start getting you ready for this Padre Diamondback Game 1 of a 4-game set out in Arizona. Quinn and Chris, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan. Here's a little traffic.
We're all on this planet together. So join Odyssey and find your one thing. August is a great month to help out the environment by improving your gas mileage. Make sure your tires are properly inflated, and heavy items like golf clubs aren't stored in your trunk. Take your car in for a tune-up to ensure it's running at peak performance. And when the weather is nice, walk or bike to your destination to enjoy a beautiful summer day. Join Odyssey, and together, each of us doing one thing makes a greener tomorrow. What's your one thing?
CuriosityStream has thousands of documentary films and shows available on demand on any device. We're the Netflix for nerds, the Hulu for history buffs, the Disney Plus for the scientist in us. There sure are a lot of streaming services, aren't there? CuriosityStream is the one you definitely need if you're the type to nature dock and chill, if you're an armchair astronaut, if you prefer physics to psychics, or perhaps you know a precocious paleontologist. Go to curiositystream.com to learn more and sign up today.
Odyssey now has hundreds of new exclusive music stations for you to discover your new summer soundtrack.
Get moving with worthy workouts for a cardio sesh fueled by today's top artists.
Hanging with your crew? Throw it back with Picnic Party for old school jams for your cookout.
Or sail away with Odyssey's new yacht rock station, Jugger Yacht.
There are hundreds of new exclusive stations to check out today.
For summer barbecues,
road trips,
or relaxing poolside.
For every mood, every interest, every passion. By Odyssey.
This month on the 11th, a writer named Sarah shares the story of a false accusation of sexual misconduct. And then her inbox is flooded with hundreds of other people saying they too have been falsely accused. A professor, a federal government whistleblower, a candidate for sheriff. What responsibility does she have to these other stories, these other people? Was it her role to decide who's telling the truth? That's this month on the 11th. A new podcast from Pineapple Street Studios.
This hour, Gwen and Chris, brought to you by Vons and Albertsons. Shop Vons and Albertsons, or both. Save on local favorites like California grown, red, or green seedless grapes. Scraby, red grapes, green grapes.
Green.
Tony Gwynn Jr. Oh, you like green grapes frozen with honey.
That's true.
I like all grapes.
While his children are fanning him with a palm.
We are in the time.
Yes, that's right. His children feed him frozen grapes covered in honey.
Oh, yes. Stop it. We are in the season of the candy grape right now.
Which grapes are those?
Yeah. They're red.
Okay.
But
The red ones.
But they have a sweet candy flavor to them.
You know, I told one of my neighbors, Ryan, about the fact that you freeze grapes and you drizzle honey on it. Every time I see him walking the dog now, he tells me about how much he loves them.
They're delicious.
Tell Tony I can't stop eating the frozen grapes.
It's a great snack.
Great
grape snack.
Yeah. I guess I got to read the rest of this. Red and green seedless grapes right now, 2 pound packages. Tony, you could be eating those all night. $1.87 with the digital coupon on VonsOrAlbertsons.com. Offer valid through August 17th. All right. How do we feel about the BYU athletic department helping to broker opportunities, Tony, for every walk-on member of the football team to sign an endorsement deal with a sponsor that will cover the cost of their tuition for at least 1 year? The arrangement, of course, is made possible due to the recent NCAA rule changes that allow college athletes to make money from their names, images, and likenesses, NIL. All 123 members of the Cougar football program are offered an endorsement deal with protein bar company Built Brands.
I like it.
Yeah, I mean, I wish it's a nice thing for BYU, and I don't want to. I never want to cheer for BYU in any way, shape, or form. But
I'm mad that they came up with it. But it's a great idea.
It's a great deal for these kids. I mean,
at least what we know.
Yeah, I didn't read. I mean, this is quite a lengthy story, but I gave you the highlights of it there. Scholarship players can receive $1,000 each for representing the company. 36 walk-on players on the roster were offered what amounts to privately funded scholarships. 36 guys who normally would have to pay for their tuition at BYU getting it for free.
That's awesome.
So, they're setting the bar.
Those are walk-ons. Those are guys who don't have scholarships.
Right?
So
they're setting the bar, and we'll see, who else jumps aboard that. Because that was one of the things that I think a lot of people were concerned about with the whole NIL, Tony, was that only big-name superstar-type college athletes would be able to benefit from this, a la the Alabama quarterback who's already making more money than Nick Saban. But BYU, this is totally going the opposite direction, right? This is helping to fund walk-on players and allow them to play. So that's a good thing, I must say.
It's a
nicest thing I've ever said about BYU. But
it'll probably be the last. But that is they got it right on this one. And I would think some other schools would be looking to do similar things for their athletes.
Absolutely.
That don't have scholarships.
Sure. Yeah, it's a great deal. All right, 5:24 is the time. Gwen and Crisello, Tony Gwynn Jr., Matt Scraby, together in our Odyssey Palace Studios. We're coming up on the Padre pregame show, which starts in about 15 minutes. I will be handling the Padre pregame show today, so we all can look forward to that. And then the game is at 6:40 tonight. Yu Darvish, and now is there some question, evidently, as to who might be starting for Arizona? Is that what we're getting word of? Potentially Taylor Widener actually was supposed to start. But the Diamondbacks, as of a few moments ago, and even now, still have not released their lineup for tonight's game.
Yeah, so I don't know what that reason is, but they haven't put a lineup out for sure.
So maybe there's some question as to who their starting pitcher will be. We'll have to wait and see. But no lineup has been announced. As far as the Padres are concerned, lineup has been announced. No, Fernando Tatis Jr. is not in the lineup, has not been activated. Jace Tingler saying earlier today, and we'll hear more about this on the pregame show, but saying that he's not really so sure that Tatis will be ready to go this weekend to play in Arizona. There are some reports out there that say it's likely he'll be playing this weekend, so we're all just going to have to wait and see because Jace Tingler was very non-committal on that. And he also wouldn't say, of course, which position Fernando would be playing when he is activated. Padres go to Arizona, then Colorado before coming home to host the Phillies next weekend. All right, Scraby, do you need me to stretch anymore, or are you about ready to do a little daily gambit?
Keep going.
Aaron Judge just hit one deep into the corn. Yeah,
I yelled it, too, in studio.
You were so excited.
We think he hit one deep into the corn.
Right, they lost the ball.
We didn't really see where the ball was.
It disappeared out of the camera's view. I mean, it was hacked pretty well.
This field is amazing looking.
It is nice. I mean, they have spent a ton to manicure this thing to like perfection.
It
just for one game.
It's perfection too.
Couldn't they have played a series? I mean, these guys had to fly. I mean,
that is the weird part.
Do you feel some type of way if you're a Yankee or a White Sox and you're in the middle of your season, you got to make a side trip to Iowa for one game?
I mean, the question I guess you should ask yourself is how do you feel about spending multiple days in Dyersville, Iowa? I guess that is
so you think it would be better to go in and play one game and get out of there than spend a weekend in Dyersville?
I've never been to Dyersville, but that's my guess.
Oh, they're going to complete the series against the White Sox in Chicago starting back up on Saturday. So
they get a day off tomorrow.
They get Friday off to travel back.
Did I hear from you, Tony, or where did I hear this? That next year.
You heard it from Tony.
It was from Tony.
I don't know what you're going to say. Yeah.
Next year, the Padres have the schedule's out, and they have a set of back-to-back days off.
That is indeed true.
And I think I remarked that I've never heard of that before in baseball. Has anybody ever heard of that?
You and me both have never heard of it.
Right.
Before. Other than the All-Star break where you get multiple. Right. But to have two random off days back-to-back, let alone in your city,
That is weird.
That happens if you're hurt.
Scrappy, you better start preparing for that. We got a lot of work to do. That
back to back,
2, 3 to 7 days. Don't know if I can do it. I'm gonna start getting the feelers out for
We're about to get our training in here as soon as baseball season's
Oh
over.
yeah, I'm ready to go always.
That 4-hour shift is about to be real again.
Remember when we did like a year's worth of 4-hour shifts when COVID happened?
Yeah, don't remind me.
Don't remind me.
All I can see is my room all day long.
Just your room at home and Chris's office at home as well.
I don't want to go back to that at all.
Leave Chris alone. Do the Daily Gambit now.
Jeez.
Do you like money without doing anything?
Winning.
Do you want to make money while watching sports?
I think Washington is immortal luck.
Washington! Woohoo! If you answered yes, this is your segment. Just don't blame us when you lose.
Well, nothing is ever your fault.
It's your game. Take it.
Gwen and Chris go through the top bets of the day in The Daily Gambit on 97.3 The Fan.
Daily Gambit, our daily sports betting segment that we try to fit in at least every day, but the schedule's a little weird the rest of the week, so we'll be doing it right here. Chris.
Yes.
We're going to make a few, and Tony as well. I don't know why I discluded? Anyway. I don't know why I did say Tony's name, but we're going to make some strikeout bets over under on the pitchers.
Are you still mad at me for whooping up on you in the trivia game? Is that why you just try to leave me out right there?
No. Yes. It is. People talk to me about that all the time. They say, how can you let Tony crush you in those games all the time? And it's like, I'm not letting him do anything.
Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, he has no choice.
I have no choice in my losses.
The beatdown just commences.
It's bad. It's bad and it hurts. But tonight, Chris,
when do you want to play another round of
I have a pop quiz for
game
a pop quiz for you guys. I was thinking of a topic the other day. So,
really?
Yeah.
Bad baseball movies?
No, it's about stadiums.
You can't give the topic. You can't give the topic when you're doing a pop quiz.
Yeah. You Darvish, Chris, over under seven strikeouts tonight.
He'll be over that by the third inning.
Over that by the third inning.
$20.
$20. Tony, over under you Darvish 7 strikeouts.
Over.
And I'll give you 15.
Wait, no, I can bet my own money.
Okay, how much do you want to bet?
He's
15.
walking up to the window for
He
you.
even says 15.
Well, just because you put it in my head.
That was a weird laugh. Yes, you Darvish is going to be over 25 on the over.
Whoa.
Yeah, 25
Going
on
heavy.
the over. The other bet, we're going to some more pitchers tonight. Shohei Ohtani is facing Jose Barrios. Barrios? Is it Barrios or Barrios?
Barrios.
So Shohei Ohtani is over under 5.5 strikeouts. Tony, how much and over or under 5.5 for Shohei?
Over.
And how much?
15?
20. 10.
Only 10.
Chris?
Shohei Ohtani over what? 5.5?
5.5, yeah.
Nah, give me 20.
All right.
That seems like an easy one, but that's why you get in trouble. I'm going to go crazy. $15.
Go crazy.
$15 under.
15 under.
I'm just thinking that they know something that I don't.
I'm going to go 20 under.
Ooh,
last
you're going
one.
under also.
I'm up first. Barrios over under 6.5. I'm going to say, because the Angels are struggling right now, I'm going to say over, and I'm only going to do 10.
How does Barrios have a higher strikeout number than Ohtani?
I don't know. What do you think, Chris?
Again, they know something, so I'll take Barrios to go over.
And how much?
By the way, Barrios has 33 more strikeouts than Ohtani does this year. But he's also pitched 47 more innings. Okay. Barrios over $10.
$10 over for Barrios. Tony, 6.5 is the number. Over, under, and how much you want to bet?
Barrios?
Yep.
Over.
And how much?
15.
15. All right. The only thing we have left to do now is to pick the score of tonight's game.
Should we, we don't need to pause for station identification.
No,
we normally do.
Yeah, we do.
Because we're at the top of the hour.
Yeah, we're almost done. But
Tony, I know you don't keep up on this like I do, but remember going back 4 months ago when Scraby said this would be easy for him to do.
He did.
Yeah, he still hasn't done it. It's August 12th.
I came close the other night when I said 7-4.
You
and it was
haven't
6-5.
come close.
It was 6-5, and I said 7-4.
That's not
I feel
close.
like if the Diamondbacks came and figure out who's going to pitch tonight, I think that's going to be.
How about they start with a lineup?
Yeah, but
they already have who they're going to probable pitch.
Okay,
but
so
they don't have a lineup.
I'm going to say it's going to be an easy win for the Padres tonight and a 9-4 win. Padres.
Okay.
9-4.
That will not be the score of tonight's game.
He
but
says that every time.
Keep tabs anyway.
9-4.
All right, 9-4 Padres. We'll preview that game with a pregame show coming up next. Gwen and Chris tomorrow at 3 o'clock.
Matt Strom, Friday, 4 p.m.
See you then. Have a good rest of your evening, everybody.
The COVID-19 pandemic showed us how a microscopic virus could upend our lives. There is so much out there that we need to understand. But for every threat, there are heroes working at the edges of science and policy to protect us. I'm Dr. Abdul El-Sayed, former Detroit Health Director and host of Crooked Media's America Dissected. Every episode, I talk to the doctors, scientists, culture makers, and policy leaders who are working out new ways to protect us against our biggest threats. New episodes of America Dissected every Tuesday. Listen on Odyssey, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts.
On Pod Save the World, we want to be your cheat sheet for global events. My name is Tommy Vitor, and each week, my co-host Ben Rhodes and I break down the biggest stories from around the world. Ben and I both worked on President Obama's national security staff, and we'll introduce you to the activists, politicians, and journalists who can help us understand what's going on around the world, what it means for the United States, and what it's like being inside the White House Situation Room during a crisis.
Listen on Odyssey, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your pods.
Odyssey now has hundreds of new exclusive music stations for you to discover your new summer soundtrack.
Get moving with worthy workouts for a cardio sesh fueled by today's top artists.
Hanging with your crew? Throw it back with Picnic Party for old school jams for your cookout.
Or sail away with Odyssey's new yacht rock station, Jugger Yacht.
There are hundreds of new exclusive stations to check out today.
For summer barbecues,
road trips,
or relaxing poolside.
For every mood, every interest, every passion. Buy Odyssey.